So kind of nearing the end of my internship now, and I don't know, I kind of wanted to make this video about an overview really of how far we've come as a company for the short while that I was here, and I also kind of want to in a way define what lean means to me. I don't know, for some reason I've been pondering this entire summer about what is lean. I've seen multiple videos and I get their definitions, but I'm like, yeah, those are good and helpful, but I don't think that's really what lean means for me and what I see it as. So I still haven't quite figured out a set definition, but I think making this video, I'll kind of talk through it, and maybe it will solidify into a definition for me personally. Because I don't think that lean has to necessarily be defined in become one set definition. I think that one aspect of lean is the creativity, and you can really lean can be defined differently by each person as they learn lean in different ways and the different experiences they all have. I think it makes for it being a very interesting and upbringing of lean in a sense. So yeah, I'll kind of talk more about that a little bit later. So I would just first like to state we have really come a long way as a company from when I first started. And this is like when I first started way back when. I think I've been a part of this company, not necessarily working there, but a part of this company longer than anyone who's worked there aside from Brad and Shirley. And yeah, I think I was even there before Tony, just as a kid, really growing up and playing in the shop. And so really this company has been a part of my life for sure, and I might even argue it's been like a third child. You know, when you come home and your parents are just talking about the company, how things are going, the directions they want to take with various things from equipment to jobs, and just, I don't know, you kind of pick up a lot of stuff when you're growing up with that. So I truly knew that, not the technical aspects, but I knew the ins and outs on the surface of this company. And with this internship, I was really able to get more below the surface. And I mean, I've seen the lean transformation on the surface. It's very apparent everywhere you look. There's different transitions that you see. One of them being just the visuals of our shop. We got tape on the floor. We never had tape on the floor. Things are organized. People know where stuff is. That was never the case. And even just terminology of different things, we weren't on the same page. It was basically the equivalent of having two plants. One plant was the offices, and that, as far as anyone was concerned, could have been on the opposite side of town. And then we've got the production plant, and that's where all the products come together. And again, that could have been on the opposite side of town. So the communication, even though it's only like, what, 50 feet between the two plants, it seems like it's just miles and miles. This was, again, before in the early stages of this company. It's really come a long way in transformation in just a short few months. But now talking more about in today's standards, yes, getting back to that surface and stuff like that. The surface changes I've seen, again, have been all over. It's been crazy. There's just so much that's changed with visuals and Kaizen foam and Kanbans, and the flow is just impeccable now. It is amazing how well we are starting to flow. I was talking earlier, with any decision that you make, any reaction that you have, there's always going to be a delay. In two ways. There's going to be a delay in resistance, and that is basically feeding off the fear of the unknown. When we were starting this journey, no one knew what was going to happen. We knew I knew the concepts, and I knew that if we could effectively apply it, we could do amazing things. But it's just that fear of unknown that a lot of people get scared of. That's why little kids are scared of the basements, because they don't know what's in the dark. It's unknown. So that's kind of the first thing with resistance. And I think we have gotten past that. I think now that we have really seen firsthand what we can do as a company and as a team, really, it's just amazing how much we've really grown. So then the second thing with a reaction, second ordeal, is it takes time. There's always going to be a delay. Whenever there's a reaction, there's always a delay. No matter what type of reaction. That second part of reaction is there's a delay. Any reaction you have, there's always going to be a delay no matter what it is. And it doesn't matter how long or how short that delay is, there's still that delay. So I think with Lean, we had a little bit of a delay in terms of growth for sales and efficiencies, and I think what that delay really was from is we might have been doing 2-second improvements, but mostly we're doing 3Sing, which is still very important to sustain stuff. But I think most of our delays were that we were doing improvements, but they weren't necessarily with our processes. And I'm not saying that any of our improvements were bad. They were all detrimental to where we've come today as a company. So I think that by saying we didn't need some of those small changes would be foolish. And that's not what I'm saying at all. But there was a delay with our thinking process, our thought process, and when we actually understood stuff for thought. But I think we are getting over that delay now. I think there's many key people now that are thinking and actively thinking, and when you're working on a process, either a handwork process or up front doing a quote or workflow process for there, we're starting to actively be thinking about, okay, why are we doing it this way? We should be doing it this way, or what if we try doing it this way? No improvement that you make is going to be perfect the first time, and 50% of the improvements that you make should fail. If you don't have that ratio where every improvement you make, if say every improvement you make works, great for you, but you're not making too many improvements then, because you need to make a ton of improvements, and you know not everyone's gonna work. So I would say it's almost better to have a person who fails more often than they succeed, in this sense, that they're just making so many improvements, and I think that we are getting in that direction. So yeah, I think we as a company have come a long way with our thought process and caring and client care, because when we think of client care and the customer, we're thinking now of the next person in line. We're being more honest with everyone. Our communication's better. It's still not perfect, but it's getting better. And if we continue on this path that we have set out on, I think that we're all going to be blown away by how much more effective our company can be with everything. So I think for sure our journey has brought us to great places and great depths. So now, one last thing I'd like to say is a lot of that was dealing with the surface, the physical improvements, but the deep penetration would be the mindsets and hearts. And today, I experienced that firsthand. Greg, he was stapling these books for Fort Gratiot, which I'm actually delivering right now. And he said, man, with the old process, it probably would have taken me 2 days to do this job by myself. And he wasn't trying to gloat or be negative or anything. He was being real with himself. Like, if it was me, I think it would have taken me 2 days. And he said now with his small improvements that he's making, he believes confidently that he could do it all in 1 day, which is that 50% efficiency, or cutting the time in half, which I've mentioned a few times with quotes that every process we do can be cut in half. And Greg is witnessing that firsthand with the saddle stitch jobs, and it's just an incredible thing. And I know that others of you are experiencing this same thought where it's like, oh man, this used to be a horrific process. I was dreading getting to that, but now I'm enjoying it and I'm happy about it. So it's just really amazing, the journey that I've personally seen and helped develop, really. So now I kind of want to talk more about defining lean for me, because like I said before, everyone's going to have their own definition, and that's okay. There isn't one set definition for lean. That's part of the beauty of lean. So I say for me, what lean is changing minds and hearts of clients. And what I mean when I say clients is that client care, which is the next person in line. So this means that we're changing the hearts and minds, the attitudes and thoughts of everyone in the building to care about the next person. And how we go about doing this is with Kaizen, which is small improvements. And that increases the quality of our client and ourselves. We are happier. We care about our work. We put more effort into what we do. So I think for me, base definition, that's what it would be. Getting deeper into lean, I would say that ultimately the goal of lean is not to make money. If you're in it for the money, you're not in it. You shouldn't be attempting it, because you're not going to succeed. You're going to fail. It's all about clients, which it comes to me now naturally when I hear of a process, or if I hear of lean, I'm like, okay, who is this going to benefit? And it doesn't always have to benefit the physical customer, but as long as it benefits someone in the company, then you're doing a good job, and you got to keep with it. And so yeah, that's kind of, it took me a few months, a lot of deep thoughts for me to come to that realization. But I think how you can use this definition is Paul Akers, he says it over and over. The first thing that he would do if he could go back is he would learn the 8 wastes by heart. Not just memorize them, but learn them by heart. And how you can apply that is when you know what the 8 wastes are, you can really help your client or help the next person in line. If you see that they have to have a bunch of wasted motion because of what you're doing, and you try and eliminate that, that's caring for the next person. So yeah, that was kind of the definition that I have for what lean is, and kind of the change that I've seen is just amazing. So I want to thank everyone here for just an amazing summer. It seems like it's been so much longer, but it also seems like it flew by. And so, yeah, I can't thank you enough, everyone, because this isn't a one-man operation. This is a team coming together, and I now can definitively say I'm seeing teamwork. So you guys are awesome. You rock, and keep it up.